What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So tonight we're going to talk about red flags. And I'm going to start this all by telling a little short story. And I'm going to tell it from a guy's perspective, but this can be also utilized for women as well. So I had a friend of mine that recently got into a relationship. I ain't going to say recently. It's been a year. And anyway, in the first couple of months he was with this person, he was, hanging out at her place or whatever. And things were going good, almost too good. It seems like, there was a lot of like love bombing involved with the female at this point. She was like, just leaving little love notes and making his lunches in these little bags and putting little love notes in it and stuff. And he thought that was kind of like, really sweet, nice and awesome, but, kind of like really over the top. He didn't, he has never been with a person that expressed love this profoundly, right? And that's just one little example. There's many other examples. So anyway, a few months into it, he happens to be walking by her phone and it lights up. And it's a Snapchat from a man. And I guess somehow he could read like a little preview or something. I don't remember how he described it, but where there's a little preview on it. And it said, it was from another man that said, "Hey, you look good in this shirt," or something. That she had sent him a snap of her in some shirt, and he was like, "You look really good in that shirt," or whatever. And he saw that, and the guy, he knew the guy's name or whatever. The guy's name was up on the Snapchat or whatever, and he was like, So anyway, later that night, he goes, him and his girl are laying in bed and stuff, and he says, "Hey, who is so-and-so?" And she's like, "Oh, he's just a friend, I met a while back, and we just kind of kept up with each other, blah, blah, blah." And he says, "Well, why is he saying that you look good in that shirt or whatever? Are you Snapchatting him your pictures of your stuff, And she was like, "Well, we just, we're just friends and we're just, doing things or whatever, just snapping pictures to each other and just talking and blah, blah, blah. We're just friends. That's it." And then she got up and she was like, "Hey, I got to go to the bathroom real quick," and runs to the bathroom. He was like, So when she comes back, and she's in there for a good 5-10 minutes, she comes back. He's like, "Did you just erase every trace of conversations that you were having with this dude?" And she was like, Yeah, I did." And he was like, "I kind of appreciate you being honest, but that's screwed up." And my man he's like, "I'm done." He jumps in his truck and he's going to drive home. She blows him up on the phone. She talks him into coming back. And they sat down, they talked things out. They invited over a person to mediate between the two of them to kind of help smooth the things over. And he stayed with her. That was red flag number one. And, he stayed with her. He was like, people make mistakes, whatever. A few months down the road, he notices as people is like sending her messages on Facebook and stuff, and he's like, "Well, who's this guy?" "Oh, he's married to so-and-so who's my friend," blah, blah, blah. Okay. But this dude is like, saying, "I really miss you," and stuff like that. And he's just kind of seeing it. And all of this is red flags. And he talked to me about it. I said, "Man, it sounds like she is very eager to absorb attention from any source that she can. She needs instant gratifying attention all the time." I was like, "Man, that's kind of, she's going to cheat on you, bro. Straight up. The first opportunity that some dude comes and just woos her into another world out at a club or something with her friends, it's over, dude." Those kinds of people do that stuff. People that are constantly attention hungry, and you're not going to be there all the time to do that, And he's like, "Well, blah, blah." I said, "Look, man, it's your relationship, bro. If you stay, I understand. It's on you. You know what you want. You know what she does. You know her better than I do. I'm just saying from the outside looking in that this is kind of what I see." Well, anyway, about a year into it, she's like, "Well, I just don't know if I love you anymore. I just don't know if we can be together. You don't fulfill me. You don't." And she just, the goalpost kept moving. He would do things for her and it wasn't good enough. The goalpost would move. He would meet that, then it would be something else and something else and something else. Finally, it got to the point where this man was giving this girl, the dude was literally doing every damn thing that any one person could do for this person. And she was just like, it's just not enough. She leaves him. And then, you know, a few months later, she's miraculously seeing some other guy. And he was heartbroken about it. And he was like, man, I don't know what I did wrong, blah, blah, blah. I was like, look, man, you know, I told you that this chick seeks instant gratification. She will never be satisfied from a mundane life. She can't take it. She has to have this, this feeling of infatuation all the time, and this newness and everything. And she's very momentary attention hungry, you know, and it was destined. That's how those people are. But the thing is, though, is that the reason why I tell you this story is because there were so many red flags along the way, and I probably missed a few in the story, but there were so many red flags he talked to me about, and I was like, man, I don't know. And it turned out being that way. So guys, I guess what I'm getting at is that your gut is there for a reason. And red flags, you know, and when I'm talking about don't ignore red flags in people, it's not like, you know, hey, this person has an anxious twitch and, you know, he picks his fingers when he's, you know, kind of meeting somebody new or whatever the deal is. That's not a red flag. That's, you know, if you're that petty with your red flags, you're going to have a problem. But I'm talking about like people who need constant validation, people who are constantly need attention, people who are constantly moving the goalposts in your relationships with them, be in friendships or be in relationships, mainly in relationships, friendships or whatever kind of sort of people take and give in relationships, but I mean in friendships, but in relationships, if the goalpost keeps moving and you keep meeting this goalpost and keep meeting this person's expectations and the goalpost keeps moving, that's not going to end out good for you, because you end up giving everything, getting nothing back, because a relationship really is some give and take. And at the end of the day, you're not going to be good enough. This person's going to move on. And they're going to do that cycle with somebody else, and then do that cycle with somebody else, and do that cycle with somebody else until they're dead or lonely forever. So I guess, guys, what I'm saying is there's a lot of red flags in people. People with drifty eyes, people who are, very secretive about things. And this is just a few instances of what I'm talking about. I mean, there's so many different, aspects of recognizing red flags in people. You need to be able to recognize serious red flags, and you need to put that in your head. Are you willing to deal with that? Are you, can you kind of see what happens can you kind of see what would happen in the future if you kind of allow this behavior to continue? People up and, just leave you for no reason. They don't give you no reason why. Best thing to do is just don't look for a reason why. Best thing to do is don't worry about the closure. Move on, because that person, 9 times out of 10, if a person leaves you, then they were checked out 6 months before y'all ever broke up. They've been planning this the whole time. So what I'm getting at, guys, is that you got red flags, and and this can transcend into your work environment. If you have a very toxic work environment, and all of that, and you see behaviors going on in management that maybe are not normal, or maybe they're very biased, or very abusive. Don't put yourself into a career in a toxic environment like that, because all those people do is they use you for examples. They set you up for failure, and when you fail, they use you for an example over and over and over again, while they promote people who are not even qualified to work the job, or maybe it was their friend, or maybe it's their golf buddy, or their fishing buddy, or their cousin, and they pick winners and losers, and they don't necessarily let the cream rise to the top. So I'm just saying, guys, like, red flags in business, in relationships, in friendships, in life in general, listen to your gut, right? And if you're going to listen to yourself, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to inquire about a few things. And if you can't get any clarity, then 9 times out of 10, there's a bunch of obscurity involved. Maybe there is some lies involved. Give yourself the opportunity to walk away or give yourself the chance to try to move on into something else where there's less toxicity, where there's less, and your environment's less toxic. There's less, gaslighting going on, and there's no lying, and you're not having to always look over your shoulder or look over the other person's shoulder or whatever the deal is. You're constantly having to, overlook these red flags to make things work. Quit doing that. That's our New Year's resolution for people who don't have one right now. Your New Year's resolution should be to not ignore red flags in all the aspects of your life, and to move on through life trying to nip out those toxic red flags that do nothing but hold you back. Because, like I said, red flags cannot necessarily be like small mannerisms that people can't really help, but they are things that alarm you in a socioeconomic style or socioeconomic environment where, you're dealing with work, or in your social environment where you're dealing with your friends, or a romantic environment where you're dealing with your significant other or somebody you're dating. If somebody, you just gotta be aware that these red flags are there for a reason, and people will eventually run out of good behavior, And please, guys, for the rest of your life, do not be somebody's plan B. By God in heaven, please. If you are being plan B'd by somebody, man or woman, however whatever you're doing, if you're being plan B'd, if this guy or chick let's say in my aspect, I'm gonna speak from a man's perspective, but that can be also in a woman's perspective. If this person is dragging you along and throwing some breadcrumbs out just to keep you on the back burner, just in case this doesn't work out, dip. You are better than somebody's plan B. I can promise you that. You're somebody's main. You're somebody's plan A. You're somebody's forever. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're in a situationship with somebody, or you're in a friends with benefits. That'll never work out. One or the other person always ends up having some kind of feelings. So all I'm saying, guys, let's make good, conscious choices. Let's not ignore the red flags that other people are putting out there, and really look at things in an even keel manner, to where we're not, allowing things to, be overlooked because, maybe this chick's real hot, man, but she's crazy. No. You don't want that, or maybe she's got a lot of money, or he's got a lot of money, but man, he really got a drifty eye for other women. No, don't get into that. Those are the red flags, man, that will end up getting into your life to the point where it can ruin it. And guys, we just got to quit doing that. I'm a victim of that myself. Other people are, that I know of are doing that as well. Please do not get into this, please do not overlook your red flags for some other convenience in the relationship, whether it's the sex, whether it's the looks, whether it's the monetary, aspect of it, whether you're getting, they've got a lot of money or property or reputation, whatever. It's not worth it in the end, because it's nothing good comes of that. So anyway, guys, that's a short talk for tonight. Kind of a little all over the place about the red flags, but I was trying to cover a lot in 15 minutes. So, the moral basis is there. Guys, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next time. Later.